Shilpi, back to you.
Hello, absolutely. Hello, everyone. Just a moment. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the International Virtual Business Summit 2020 powered by Landed for Success. Here we are to learn, grow, and collaborate. It is an immense opportunity for all of us to learn and grow our business and take it to the next level. And we could not have done this without our team, which has done immense lot of work behind the scenes. And so I would like to take an opportunity to invite Alina to actually introduce our team who has done a lot of work behind the scenes. Welcome, Alina. And of course, before going there, I need to introduce Alina too. Alina is the administrative assistant here in Letter for Success. And Alina, she is great. And you can hear more from her now. Welcome, Alina.
Thank you so much, Shilpi, for the kind introduction. Hi, everyone. On behalf of Landed for Success, I once again welcome you all today. And I also want to extend my gratitude to our guest of honor and esteemed guest speakers for gracing our event. Thank you so much for being with us here today from all over the world. So Landed for Success takes great pride in connecting people and helping them develop their businesses, allowing them opportunities to network, get coaching and mentorship to advance their business careers through networking events, digital marketing courses, and our membership program. And behind all of this is our amazing team who work tirelessly to make these events successful, to make our services successful. And I would want to introduce all of them here. So please welcome the Landed for Success team. Team members, if you could just come on camera and say hi to everyone. I'd like to first introduce Dilpreet Kaur.
Hello everyone, good morning.
Good morning, Dilpreet.
And I joined Landed for Success as a marketing intern.
Great,
Hello,
thank you,
everyone.
Dilpreet, and she's been doing wonderful work. I would now like to introduce Randeep.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Randeep. I'm a marketing intern in Landed for Success.
Next we have Surbi.
Hello, everyone. I must say that I'm a proud member of Landed for Success, and I have joined it as a content writer. Thank you.
It's wonderful having you on the team, Surbi. I would now like to invite Zain.
Hi, everyone. I recently joined as a social media networking intern, and it's great to be part of the team.
Thank you, Zain. Next up is Jaydeep.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jadip. I started Landed for Success as a social media marketing, and it's going so good.
Great. It's lovely having you on the team as well, Jaydeep. And last we have Hafsa.
Hi, this is Hafsa. I have joined Landed for Success about a couple months.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for working behind the scenes. These events are not possible without you. Thank you for all the great work you do, and we really treasure having you. That's it from me, Shilpi. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alina, and thank you, team, for doing the hard work behind the scenes. It's amazing effort that you do. Just you should know that you are appreciated. And moving on to the next, I would like to welcome Terence Lashington, who is the moderator along with me for today's event. And he is a transformational coach. He hosts many programs. He's an executive founding member of Landed for Success. He does face reading, and he is a singer, a performer, and there is lot more that I can say, but I'm gonna just keep it to this. And Terence, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shilpi. Thank you for those kind remarks. Folks, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all across the world. And welcome to this platform, our first in 2022, the International Business Summit. Why? The International Business Summit, because we want to link those people who have not had the opportunity to that pandemic epic that we've gone through in the last 2 years. So saying that about what's going on, I'm also a best-selling author on our platform. As you noticed, Landed for Success has been extremely generous to all of us, not only in participation, but in meeting, greeting, and finding people. So our main objective here is what? It's not about me, it's not about Shilpi, it's not about everybody that's on the team, because we support you. So all of y'all who come on board, we are there for you guys, and we want to make a change. We want to make things happen. Shilpi took a lot of time and effort to get some very, very prominent guests along with Jay. And these guests are very, very big people. I mean, if you see their resumes that I have, it's enormous, enormous resumes. And just to get them to come today on a Saturday morning or an afternoon or evening is a humble privilege for them to be on board. So you please have to welcome them with open arms and receive the information, because the education, the information is wide. It's hundreds of years put together with all of them in education. So please don't miss this opportunity. Take full advantage of this time frame and make sure that you take notes. You write, because it'll be repeated once, but those notes can be repeated in your minds forever. So keep in mind, it's very, very vital. Also, a little housekeeping. If you guys have cell phones and if you are on by any chance, please put them on vibrate so that nobody can be disrupted, especially when the guest speakers are speaking, because we really appreciate them and we give them all the thank yous and gratitude for being on the line. Okay, so saying that, Shilpi, thank you, folks, and back to you.
Thank you, Terence, and thank you for the details. I would actually request everyone to please switch on their video, because it looks really, really nice when we see faces, and people would, when speakers are talking and when I'm talking, I feel like whom I'm talking to, I want to see faces. The speakers are giving so much of their valuable time. Having them all in one platform is a privilege, actually. When I see and when I know, trust me, if I give you their resume, like their bio, you would be surprised the details of accomplishments and accolades they have achieved in their lives. So just keeping this short, I would really like to go on to the next session, which is the speakers. And I would not waste a moment here. Terence, the floor is yours.
Thank you so very much. And I'm very privileged to introduce the first guest speaker of this morning, again, this afternoon or this evening. This person has the business acumen and ability to understand business issues. So again, I repeat, the business acumen and ability to understand business issues, and is a collection of both general and organizational. So I will just read a small brief bio on Brenda Beck. Brenda Beck is an Oxford-educated social anthropologist who has spent a lifetime studying South Asia, and in particular, the Kongu Nadu area of Tamil Nadu. She has published 8 books, 2 of which are double volume works, and she has contributed to and/or edited many more. She has also authored over 60, I repeat, 60 journal articles. Dr. Beck has a passion for South Asian mythology. She has written a number of articles related to divine figures, including India goddesses and animal figures like the wild boar. She has also examined a number of human epic characters, detailing their stories and describing their related festivals. One unique folk epic, the legend of Ponivala Nadu, has held her interest for over 50 years. Brenda is an adjunct professor of anthropology at the University of Toronto and president of the Sophia Hilton Foundation of Canada, a charitable foundation that promotes the use of storytelling and education at all levels. Her earliest anthropodic work, Peasant Society in Kongu, was recently translated in Tamil, and also built a publishing house. In the past years, also, Brenda has received 12 awards from the Tamil community groups in the US and in Canada, in Tamil Nadu, and also in Malaysia, for her work in helping to deepen a worldwide appreciation of Tamil folk literature, and especially in diaspora. She will also be publishing a new book soon with the title Land of the Golden River, It is predicted to reach local stores in September. Please give a warm, warm welcome to Dr. Brenda Beck.
So I'm not clear whether I'm introducing myself or this is the point at which you want me to give my presentation.
Your presentation, please.
Okay, can I have the control so that we can see my PowerPoint, please?
You are a co-host, you have the rights.
Okay, so you can now see my cardboard box, I hope. Does
No, we
everybody
can't.
see that? Oh. Well, I'm not sure what I should do. You have to.
You have a co-host, right? You have to share the screen and then you'll be able to see it.
Dr. Brenda,
Yes.
on your screen, there should be a green button saying share screen and an arrow. Just where you see yourself on the monitor.
Okay, I have a problem with several screens here that's in the way. I'm sorry about this.
That's okay. Please
Okay.
take your time.
Now, okay, now a green button.
That says share
Share
screen.
screen, got it, okay. Now. Now do you see a cardboard box?
Absolutely.
Okay. Excellent. So I'm sure you're wondering, why am I starting with this very dull cardboard box, which is also empty? And the reason is that I want to talk about using metaphor in a business environment. I've been an advocate of metaphor for many, many years. And I think it's particularly powerful in a business environment. And we have a problem with metaphor in North America. And we use very boring metaphors, and a cardboard box is one of them. And I note when I saw the images on the screen that most of you have a South Asian connection. And that's wonderful because South Asians are much better at using metaphor. They're much more imaginative than North Americans. So I'm sure you will not only understand what I'm trying to say, but you'll be in a position to use it. And one of the very common metaphors used in North America is think outside the box. And yes, that is a helpful metaphor because a box is the environment, the kind of general space that we imagine we live in. And we use that continually in understanding and interpreting things. But unfortunately, we often think of a boring cardboard box. It's square, it's industrially made, it has no feeling or warmth, no story. And so I think we can do a lot better than a cardboard box. So for example, here are some other possibilities which you might use. We could use the igloo of the people living in the Arctic environment. I chose the igloo not because it's cold, but because it's not square. It's a different kind of container, if you like, one that people live in, but they tend to think in round images because their environment is round. And also, I'm sure that it can be used to say, well, let's step outside of our igloo where it is relatively warm, and let's challenge the environment. Let's try to do better. Let's be clever and think of ways to overcome the difficulties. For example, the people who live in igloos had a very clever way of making sunglasses out of the bone of various sea animals. They had a very, very thin slot in the bone that served to cut down the sun. So it can be used by people in imaginative ways. It doesn't have to be just a cold, snowy environment. We could also say, if you live in a cave, come outside the cave, see the light, see the sun, see the greenery, and let's look beyond that rocky kind of enclosure where we live. But a much nicer one would be this image of a bird nest from South India, from the epic, the land of the Golden River that I have worked on for so many years. Many of the birds there live in these lovely round nests, and here we see them looking out of the nest at the much broader environment. Similarly, if we wanted a metaphor from North America for that kind of idea, you could say that we are living in an acorn, which is the great oak tree here. And again, step outside the acorn. Let's see the whole tree. Let's see all the other opportunities beside the seed. We have the roots, the leaves, and many other things. So think outside the box. And now let's think about other metaphors besides just the box or the environment. And here are just a couple to give you an idea of how metaphors can lead you to inspiring the people that you work with and that you want to lead. These are very, very simple 4 examples here that I'm just giving you to give you the idea of what a metaphor is. They're not my favorites. We can say life is a highway in terms of saying to people you're working with what experiences to expect. A highway has some kind of map, you know where you're going, but things change along the way. And so what are we going to experience? Is it going to be bumpy? Is it going to be smooth? Is it going to need extra technical input to repair the potholes and so on? We can say her eyes are like diamonds. And that if you envision your environment, your work community as a body, which is very common South Asian kind of metaphor, you can say the eyes on that body are like diamonds. And so that helps you to zero in when you identify what the diamonds are on what to focus on, what needs to be improved or can be advertised and used to promote what you have to the larger community. I noticed a lot of people here today are in marketing. So this is one way to advertise and think about what you have to offer. We can also talk about a leader as a shining star. When the stars move, of course, across the sky during the night. And so they indicate a direction. Where shall we go? What is important to look for? We can talk about the shining star as leading us somewhere. Or if we want to talk about the environment, the economic environment, the raise in interest rates, or other kinds of issues in the environment, inflation and so on, we can talk about snow as a blanket, as something which is covering all of us. It could be that inflation is infecting us all, or it could be also that there are government policies that are helpful in controlling inflation that are going to be like a protective blanket. Whatever way you use it, it's more interesting. It energizes the mind if you use images which are beyond what's normal. So a metaphor is something that symbolizes something quite different, especially a way of symbolizing something abstract, like interest rates. Let's not talk about interest rates, let's talk about something that's an image that can be used. And it's also a word or a phrase applied to an object or an action in surprising ways, because it logically belongs to a different category. So again, that element of surprise, of freshness, is what grabs attention and which can be very effective if you're going to try to lead others. Now, our common metaphors in North America, are very often, I say most often, sports metaphors. And they do have some application to business, of course, because they talk about collaboration. You have to all row together on the same rhythm. And also sports metaphors emphasize competition, and you try to beat your competitor. You try to get there first. You try to be the winner. Well, yes, these metaphors do work, but I feel they're a little bit put too much emphasis on both conformity and competition. Basketball is a little bit better, but still the same kind of idea. A lot of individuality in basketball, how you throw the ball and the kind of moves that you make with the ball. But it emphasizes your personal skills, but also the way we hear about basketball, all the statistics. You know, how many baskets have you made, and in order to be better and to stand out as different from the other members of your team and your competitors and so on. Again, I don't find it the most inspiring kind of metaphor. Hockey is one of Canada's favorite metaphors, and we use it all the time to talk about business groups who are like hockey teams competing to get the puck through the goal and so on. Yes, okay, and we're very, very familiar with it. But what I want to do is suggest to you some other metaphors when you think outside the box, especially for North Americans, and you will recognize these if you're familiar, of course, with India. One of the metaphors that I like a lot, that you probably most of you are familiar with, is the churning of the ocean story. First of all, it's a story, so you can expand on it. You can tell a story about it. But there are two teams. They are the Devas and the Asuras, and they've wrapped a rope or sometimes a snake around a pillar in the middle of the ocean. And they're tugging back and forth, back and forth. And the interesting idea is, yes, they're competing, but they have to work together, because the Amrita, the elixir, the soma, the wonderful wealth that exists in the ocean is only going to come up and benefit people if the two sides, they may compete, but they also have to work together. And this is actually lived out in India. I was there at a Pongal festival, that's the winter solstice festival in Tamil Nadu in 2020. And the event was sort of emphasized and enjoyed by people by an actual tug of war. And they had the women pulling on one side of the rope and the men pulling on the other. And of course, the idea is that they're reenacting the ancient myth, which everybody's familiar with, but they're also in the end collaborating in order to churn and get the benefit for everyone. So I find this a more positive, more creative, and it's a metaphor you can build on in many more ways. And also the women, especially in Tamil Nadu, are very important at the Winter Solstice Festival, and they exchange and work together, as you see in this image, where they exchange the cooked rice and milk. And it's only by working together that they get the outcome that is shared with the whole community.
Dr. Brenda, I'm sorry to interrupt. You've got 5 minutes.
Oh, I've got to rush, have I?
5 minutes.
Okay, here's the pongo pot and the boiling over, which is the sharing that would be the comparison with a cornucopia in North America, that there is a plentiful benefit for everyone. I like to compare it also to the lotus, which is another very popular metaphor in South Asia. The lotus grows up from the mud, from the bottom of the pond, sees the sun and flowers. Similarly, a business can build itself up and grow and reach the sunshine and have its benefits, what it is offering the world, be like a flower. This is some description of how the lotus works, which I'll pass over because we don't have much time. And what's interesting is the lotus grows in the mud. It expands under the mud by making new rhizomes or new roots. And it's like the lotus business plan. It spreads itself quietly, but very effectively throughout its environment. And also the lotus produces beautiful seeds, and those seeds can be understood as something that will support the community and help the community grow. It's focused not only on itself, but on building and sharing. And also, interestingly, you might say, well, lotus is just in one pond, but the ducks and geese feet can spread the seeds of the lotus and the water lily for thousands of miles. And in fact, they can even spread from India to Canada and North America. So birds are part of how this sharing can take place, and they can be used as metaphors as well. And we can talk about the investor's environment, the economy, the interest rates, the as the need for air, for sunshine, for rain, and the importance of growth in the business. And in this wonderful story that I've written so much about, the heroine is born from a lotus flower. So here we have a lotus creating new life and sharing that life with the world. And various things that the heroine did to share her wealth, because she was a queen, with the community, sponsoring festivals, sponsoring places to shelter animals, and finding jewels in the corn and so on, all things that had a community element. And furthermore, I wanted to say, don't feel awkward. Men can be flowers, they can be lotuses too. And one of the other things I like about India is the idea that everybody, which is actually certainly true in our DNA, is part male and part female. And this is true of one of the great gods in Hindu tradition, Atmanarishwara, which is Shiva in male and female forms together. So men, don't be afraid to use metaphor. This is something that appeals to everyone. It's not just a female way of thinking. And I want you to think and grow like a plant. Think not of boxes and manufacturing. Think of the organic environment and the way things grow, that trees not only sponsor fruits and nuts and flowers, they also sponsor birds, and they're much, much more effective image for how a business can relate with its environment and its community. It's a powerful tool. Use it. Inspire your community like a fine lotus blossom.
Fantastic.
And this is just the fine image, is kind of a final image, kind of fun. Many years ago, when I was living in South India, I wanted to be a lotus myself. And a blue lotus is particularly popular, and there I am as a much younger woman, pretending to be a blue lotus and becoming myself a metaphor.
Excellent.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I must say, the looking outside the box, Dr. Brenda Beck, you have incited us from that point of view to see in that phase. And we really thank you for your time, and we thank you for your input on the output. Back to you, Shilpi. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I have no words to say. I was so intrigued, I was so engrossed into the metaphors. It's such a beautiful experience. I learned a lot today, actually, because we always use those same metaphors again and again and again. Now I think I have a couple of more to use in my future, so future conversations. So thank you so much.
You're
thank
very
you.
welcome.
So moving on to the next person, next guest. He is the guest of honor, Dattoshree S. Venugopal. He's going to talk about business relationships. He is the president of Malaysia South India Chamber of Commerce, president of Malaysia Japan Chamber of Commerce, president of Malaysia Bahrain Chamber of Commerce, and president of Malaysia Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce. He is an Aikido master for more than 30 years and have taught students all around the world, including, but not only limited to, London, Denmark, Switzerland, South Africa, Bangladesh, and many more. He honored many scholars, leaders, and entrepreneurs, honorary doctorates for years. He is a person with a lot of knowledge and a lot of, what should I say? He has given a world a lot of opportunities and connecting people from different countries, and he has changed many lives, in short, I could say. So let's welcome Dattoshree S. Venugopal, AMN. And Dattoshree, the floor is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Doctor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Doctor, I would like to thank Dr. Brenda Beck. She spoke very well. She gave us a knowledge on Asian country, and that's Tamil Nadu. Am I right, Doctor?
Yes, you're correct.
Doctor, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me, Doctor?
Yes, I can.
So, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Brenda. You're from where, Doctor?
I'm from Canada.
Doctor? Canada, right. You spoke very well about Tamil Nadu. We are from also we are also from Tamil Nadu. we already
Excellent,
settled
excellent.
in Malaysia, let's say centuries ago. My grandparents came over, great-great-parents, and we are very well settled in Malaysia. And I would like to invite all of you. Okay, before that, I would like to thank our Dr. J. Kandar, great guy. He has done a fantastic program of this. I'm very happy with this program. What happened is most of us are quite new to this kind of what do I say, environment, or the, you know, when we talk, we can talk quite a lot. But I'm very happy to be here. Dr. J. Kandar, Dr. Gordon Su, Dr. Silpi Chanda, and of course the others. Soon to meet them. Right. So what else to say? I like to say we all are very happy to be with you all. Very happy to have met you all. You all are such a wonderful person. I now have many friends in Canada, and which I've never been to Canada or to America, and we are very glad. Some of my friends are there. Most of them are waiting to talk to you. So I'm trying to break the what do I say? Just break the ice. So we make it a bit not so formal, make it a bit easy, so that they can come in and they will lose the fright of talking. And Dr. Suki, you looking pretty, and I think, Doctor, you must say a bit more about, you know, quite a bit of Malaysia, and we have come from a country which is called Malaysia, and also what do you call that? Truly Asia. We have got few community, few people who are staying, the Chinese, the Indians, the Malays, Sabahan, and other from. Then we have, at present time, we have quite a number of Bangladeshi, and from India. I'm from India, but I am. We were there, but now I'm a citizen of Malaysia. Dr. J. Kandan, I think I've spoke to you some 1-2 years ago. You got your beard has grown quite a bit now. Am I right, Doctor? You're looking good. And then we have what else? What else, Doctor? And Gordon Su. And I've got a friend of mine, a Chinese friend, who is a Malaysian. He's waiting to meet our Dr. Gordon Su. And of course, all of you, Dr. Thompson. Are you there, Doctor? Are you there, Doctor? Dr. Thompson? I found quite a number of calls I'm getting. Quite a lot of them, they find it difficult to get into.
Yes, I'm here, Dr. Suri. It's just that I mute.
சொல்லுங்க, Doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor, சொல்லுங்க.
Yes. Hello.
Am I mute,
Yeah.
Doctor?
No, we can
hear
hear
me?
you, Datoshri. We can hear you. All the audiences are in mute so that the speakers can talk flawlessly.
I see. Right,
And
right.
yes, you can also.
And I have Dr. J, who is trying to come in from Tamil Nadu. Can you just help him out? Because he's the one who connected us, Doctor. And of course, you go on with your speech. I will try to come in and see if I get a bit more, break the ice and get to know you all better. Dr. CP, can you please go on with it?
Doctor? Absolutely. If you mean that, do you mean you wanna let the next person talk? Is that what you are saying?
Yeah, that's what he's saying, Shilpi. Yeah, so we can go on.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Try to break the ice, make it a bit more informal. So my friends, Asian friends, a bit not used to this kind of.
Absolutely, I understand.
Meeting all of you. Yeah, Doctor.
Absolutely,
Yeah, Doctor?
absolutely.
As you know, I've been in contact with you all.
Yes,
Doctor?
absolutely. We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. And absolutely, it has been an immense pleasure to know you and learn so much from you. The way you are connecting people all over the places is amazing. For the people, absolutely. Thank you so much, Datoshi. We would love to know more from you. And it is an immense pleasure for us to have you here as a guest of honor. Thank you so much. And moving on to the next, I would like to call Terence to invite our next speaker.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you once again for that introduction. This next gentleman that I'm going to call upon, I do know him personally and have seen him at multiple functions, but I will take a little time here because this gentleman is so well known across that I have 3 pages of his bio. And again, respectfully, I have to ask his permission. Q, you don't mind if I abbreviated it a bit. Are you okay with that? Thank you very much. But just to let you know, he has 3 pages of a professional bio. Very rare that I have seen such a thing come across my desk. So I just want to mention that Mr. Q Reza Rezvanova was born in Iran, where he lived until the age of 19. In 1979, he moved to the United States to continue his education in engineering and communication. And in 1984, he received a Bachelor of Science degree in Media Systems and Management from Westfield State University in Massachusetts. After graduating, he produced and directed various projects for television stations, government, and private sectors in the United States. In 1989, moving to Toronto, he founded KVC Communications Group, specializing in communication and broadcasting. In 1993, he launched Iran Zameen, televised program on CBC, affiliate Czech, CHEX. By working closely with the Canadian government at the federal and provincial levels, Ku has made such an impact on the television programs that is beyond the beyond, and preserving the Iranian culture heritage and promoting Canadian values. He also produced... I'm sorry? Okay, sorry. He also produced a variety of corporate and commercial video and television projects, and I repeat the names for Rogers Wireless, Canadian Pacific Hotels, United Nations, Hong Kong Tourism Board of Association, Columbia University, York University, Toronto University, United Way of York Region, Mental Health Commission of Canada, Times Development Group, Banghai Development, Castle Group Development, Great Land Corporations, Hakeem Opticals, and the list goes on. He also in January founded Iranian Canadian Cultural Fellowship, the ICCF, which he serves as a president since the ICCF has been organized. He also was part of the Toronto 2008 Olympics bid outreach committee, where he served as a member of the Speaker's Bureau. On the Canadian political side, he has been both federal and on the provincial levels. And in 2003, he was awarded the Queen's Golden Jubilee Medal by the Canadian government. Going further, the Honorable Dalton McKenty, he served for him as on his board of directors. In 2009, is a member of the Canadian National Exhibition Association and helped with the whole program understand it. He did a documentary production on Hakeem, which of course everybody knows is Hakeem Optical, Mr. Kareem Hakeem himself. In September of 2012, he also did a publishing project called Persian Tribune Magazine. In 2012 again, he has been serving on the Community Police Liaison Committee for the Toronto Police Department, the 32nd Division. In June of 2017, and by the way, folks, I'm abbreviating this. There's a lot more, but I've done an abbreviation. Ku was elected to the board of directors at the Canadian Journalists for the Free Expression, and he was appointed by the Premier of Ontario, the Honorable Kathleen Wynne, to once again join the Board of Directors and Development Corporation. In 2018, he also organized the first Iranian Canadian Business Expo in the world in Metro Toronto Convention Center, with 70 companies participating, including more than 21 seminars and presentations. Presently, he sits on the board of directors at the United Nations Canada Toronto region in 2019, where he serves as the chair of the Marketing and Fundraising Committee. Without any further, let me introduce Mr. Q. Give him a warm welcome, folks.
Thank you.
A few words,
Q.
Q. Yeah, please, a few words, then we get into the Q&A.
Yeah, first of all, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, perfect, perfect. First of all, I wanted to say thank you very much for that beautiful introduction. And indeed, it's a pleasure to be in the presence of so many iconic people. And I cannot say how impressed I am about the last two speakers. And I wanted to say thank you to the Landed for Success for organizing such events and platforms, especially at this chaotic time that I think all of us don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And life is changing. The transition is coming very quickly in every level, and any possibility could exist. So it's a pleasure. Once again, I want to congratulate each one of you guys for organizing these volunteers, you, Terence, Shilpi, all of you guys doing a great job so far. And I know you continued shining in the corporate market globally. Again, it's a pleasure to be here and see so many beautiful people around the globe. And thank you for that opportunity for inviting me to be here.
Thank you so very much, sir. And we really appreciate your valuable qualifications to emphasize and also encourage those newcomers and people who are listening. Because to get to your achievement of level, it has taken years and years of understanding the ability of just one person to make an impact globally. So really appreciate that. Thank you for that. Just coming to the question, what difference did you see in business before and after COVID? And how can it still be an advantage? It's a very interesting question. I repeat it one more time. What difference did you see in business before and after COVID? And how can you still make it an advantage?
Well, it's a fantastic question that I've been asked so many questions, so many times. And also, I don't think it ever is going to end, because this COVID, the situation that we are in, is something that stays with us. Prior to that, I think we have, first of all, I want to say 2019 to me is like 500 years ago, because things have changed so rapidly in every aspect, business and personal. The psychology of it is more important of how we approach it. Prior to that, I think I should say, even though it was chaotic a little bit, but it was cushy times. We were relaxed. We were very secure. We didn't think that, we planned our lives, and we would continue doing it. And it was very fast. It was very quick. It was a really fast-paced life, but with a little bit of comfort. COVID hit us. I call it a life tsunami. It changed us, really derailed us. And prior to that, prior to COVID, we could ask that question: what is your 5-year plan? And I would say probably 5-6 people, at least person, they would say, well, my 5-year plan is this. Right now, that doesn't exist. The reason I'm saying it was one of the questions. Life was right now, prior to that, technology was in our lives, in our daily lives, especially our jobs, not as much as it is now. Prior to Corona, we didn't know what Zoom is. We didn't know, maybe few people knew. Now Zoom is, I think we are using that more than any other vocabulary. It brings us comfort. Prior to that, life was, as I said, technology was in it, but not as much as now. Technology played a role, but not as major role right now, because if you look at the past 2 years, technology has advanced rapidly. It's become part of our life. We cannot ignore it. There were some people where few that maybe did not even have a website. People still wanted to act traditionally. I call people, talk people, everything else. Right now, if you don't have any of those things, you don't exist. You don't exist at all. People wanted to know. I attended the seminar yesterday. It's kind of interesting how things have changed. Few people hand business cards. Few people. Everybody just phone to phone, just like that. Something that was not even proper prior to that. The way that we do business has changed drastically. Right now, the way I look at it is that transition has been so quick that it stays with us, as I mentioned earlier. We have to be on top of technology. We have to know where is it going. We have to look at it. We have to keep our eyes on his global village. It used to be global village. I call it global neighborhood now. We have to make sure that what is happening the other side of the world. Just look at it. Last year, and this time, we didn't know that there's going to be a war in Europe. It wasn't unthinkable. Look at it. There's the war the other side of the pond, and we are getting the effect of it. Gas prices, fuel prices, the expenses of life. So we have to be, as much as they say that don't listen to the news, don't hear it because it's going to affect you negatively and take you. All we have to do is that think positively. One of the things that brought us to, we can't go as is think positive, because we are right now in a chaotic situation in everywhere. We don't know what is happening tomorrow. We need to keep the positive attitude. We survived a tsunami. We are here. We need to move forward, and we need to make sure that we have all the tools, which is our knowledge, to move forward. And those information have to be updated. They have to be updated.
Thank you so very much. I've got 2 minutes, so one more question I will ask all of you. I had 3, but time restrained. What are the things that are required to flourish, to start a new business in post-COVID era? What are the things that are required to flourish, to start a new business in the post-COVID era?
I would say with the very first one is the strong will, and the focused. First of all, as I said, that tsunami of environment that happened by COVID created a kind of uncertainty. What am I? Who am I? What am I going to do? I used to work for this company for 20 years. Now I don't have a job. What am I going to do? You come to yourself and figure out who you are, what makes you happy to do it. Once you figure out, okay, this is what I wanted to do, you need to next one to go see, what are the tools available to me? How can I get market information about that? Again, we go back to the having knowledge. Once you figure out the focus and everything, then figure out what is the technology available and how can I apply it. I launched a project right at the beginning of the COVID. I'm not an IT person, but I knew IT plays a major role on that part. I looked at the whole picture, but I tried to fill up the gaps. And with whatever I had in my inventory, yes, I got the best of the IT and I brought them and we did the project. So my part to you is that first figure out the job that you wanted to do. Is it make you happy to get up every morning to it? We passed the time. We passed the time that we could waste time. Right now, time, as we all know, is the most valuable commodity we have. We have to take advantage of it. We have to use it properly, but we have to use it focused. For that to be focused, you have to understand what's the market area, what is the market intelligence, how your product is different than the other one. We are online. Online is basically ocean of everything. How are you going to do that thing in that ocean? People can see you. What type of fish do you have that jumps out of the water and people can see it? So you have to be not only competitive, you have to be innovative, and you have to make sure. And you have to make sure that what you are doing, you believe in it. Don't leave it after. Go for it all the way.
Thank you so very much. And sorry for the interruption. Somebody forgot to mute the person, but I really appreciate your time. And for those participants who are listening, you won't get a chance to meet this gentleman just if you walk on the street. It'll take a lot of effort to meet all the guests and the speakers, and those who have joined are very fortunate to be on this platform of Landed for Success and take advantage of all the knowledge. I am, Shilpi is, and so are we all. And we thank you, Q. Back to you,
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much. Good luck with everything to you guys.
Thank you.
Can we have this? Okay. Before going further, I would make a few of the requests that I have been saying again and again. One is when the speakers are sharing their wisdom, please have yourself on mute. If you're joining Please mute immediately because we from this end cannot mute you immediately. So please mute yourself. And the other thing is, if you have any question regarding any of the things that the speakers are sharing, keep it to yourself. We have a question answer round where you can share your questions in the chat and we can share it and you can have the answers. The next is, please do share your details in the chat. If you are entering into the room, those who have joined new with your name, please have your country on the side, rename yourself, and in the chat, share your name, your country, and the details of your business. And please, please, please keep your mic muted. That is one thing which really interrupts. We are making sure that you have a flawless, because of the time constraint, we are not even hearing much from the speakers. They have so much to offer, trust me. If you have more questions about them, keep it to yourself. When we have the question answer, just write the questions in the chat and we will make sure that your questions are answered. But meanwhile, please keep yourself muted. Moving further, thank you, Q, for the insight. Actually, it was amazing. I honestly, for those who don't know, I would want to say again, he has so much to share, but because of the time constraint, we are just shortening things because we don't want anyone to, feel that we are going beyond the time. Everyone's time is precious. Moving forward, we want to welcome our next speaker. He is Gordon So. He is the co-founder of Lender for Success and CEO and founder of Social Media Currency. Gordon has a strong background in the real estate mortgage industry. As a retired professional network marketer, he has helped many companies successfully launch into Canada, UK, Europe, Asia Pacific, and Mexico. Over the past 10 years, he worked with authors, speakers, coaches, small business owners, helping them successfully launch new brands and market their products and services. Gordon is a successful business coach and has helped more than 200 individuals become #1 international best-selling authors, podcast hosts, and speakers. He is a sought-after transformational and motivational speaker. Please welcome him. Gordon, so the floor is all yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shilpi. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Wanted to, just thank all the folks who spoke just before now, because one of the things that Shilpi asked was, hey, Gordon, could you maybe in 10 minutes share some business hacks, business tips on, how do we grow and scale our business? So one of the tips I would like to offer right now is, whenever you have amazing speakers, if you're at an event, whenever there's amazing speakers, take note, right? Grab a notebook, take note. Dr. Beck talked about a box. And like she said, often we talk about think outside of the box. Well, the reality is, if there's no box, like we shouldn't be boxed in. Would you guys agree with that? If there's no box, there's no need to think outside of the box. Daddle, what an amazing gentleman. He's taught me the importance of if your network determines your net worth, then who is in your network? So that to me is such an incredible business hack and tip, right? Because remember, one of my mentors once said, people will never forget what you do, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. So what he's taught me is the importance of relationships we have is remember how, just make sure that it's important, because people don't care how much you know. You guys heard that. People don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And Q, I wrote down like 2019, you said, it feels like 500 years ago, doesn't it? I mean, everything has changed. And what we think works today may not work tomorrow. So it's so important for us business owners to keep an open mind, right? To keep on learning, keep on pivoting. So I hope, in the next 7 or 8 minutes that you guys keep an open mind. Someone once said a mind is like a parachute, right? That only works when it's open. So I'd love to share with you a couple of ideas. I don't know if you can see my screen or not. I'm going to try to share. My kids tell me that I am literally a technical dummy. So I appreciate Elena and our interns because they can do things that we can't. Can you guys see my screen here?
Yes.
Awesome. So I have something here that usually takes me 2.5 days I lost it, you guys. It takes about 2.5 days to present. So I'm going to try to do this in 6 minutes. 9 proven marketing strategies to stand out from your competition. Now, if you want a copy of this, do me a favor, huge favor, in the comment, just type you would like a copy of this PDF, and maybe Alana, our intern, can actually take note of the individuals that would like a copy of this. And I'm happy to make sure that you get a copy of this PDF cheat sheet that I have on the 9 proven marketing strategies. You know, there's 9 of them. One of them is I can talk about today, why it's important for you to be a published author. Okay, start a podcast, become a speaker, start a Facebook group. You know, if you want more time, here's a hack. Here's a hack. Okay, if you want to work less and make more money, raise your hands if you would like to work less and make more money. Okay, hire a professional social media manager. I mean, you're going to hear from somebody like Ashok later, or Jay. They're experts in the digital marketing area that can help you generate leads in your sleep. Right? So why waste time and money? Now, unless your social media is working out for you, I know individuals that are spending 8 hours a day and they're getting 0 results. And we all know what the definition of insanity is, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Okay, so there's other strategies. I won't talk about that right now, but let's jump into, let's say, becoming a published author and speaking. Okay, I'm going to take the slides off for a minute. Before we get into that, would you guys mind if I share with you my story very quickly? Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
Just tell you a little bit about myself. My parents immigrated here from Hong Kong when I was around 9 years old. And I was always picked on. I was always bullied at school, in school, during recess, going home from school. Can anyone relate to that? So I never liked school, and I never did well in school. When I was in high school, I carried on to my high school days. If skipping classes, you guys, skipping classes and playing backgammon in the school cafeteria was a curriculum, I would have probably won valedictorian for the at high school, but unfortunately it wasn't. And so I didn't do well in high school, didn't go to university or college, so I became an entrepreneur, and initially I failed miserably at it. And then eventually I found a coach and a mentor who taught me how to succeed in the real estate industry. And then eventually I had someone who taught me how to succeed in the direct sales network marketing industry. And that's one of the hacks I would recommend is find a coach, find a mentor if you want to speed up the process of your success. Let's just go back for a minute in terms of using a book, publishing a book, sharing your story to create more influence. Write this down if you can, okay? The 3 I's. If you want to become more valuable, you know, Jim Rohn says, when you become more valuable, people are going to want to work with you. People are going to want to pay you for your services. So one of the ways to become valuable is write a book, become a published author, become a best-selling author, okay? You know, I have a friend of mine, Dan Blackburn. He's a hockey coach, and he wrote a book called When the Puck Drops, 17 stories that will rock you, shock you, and inspire you. And with this book, we're able to help Dan get interviewed on television, national television. We're able to get him to speak internationally. How many of you would like to speak internationally? Okay. We have a good friend of mine, Randy, who's a single mom, raising 4 boys on her own. Now, how many of you agree it's probably tough enough to raise 1 on your own, let alone 4? And so with Randy, we helped her create a book series called Empowering Women to Succeed. We started the Empowerment Radio Show. So if you haven't started a podcast, I encourage you to start a podcast as well. And through her podcast, through her book, she is now a 8 times international best-selling author and a sought-after international speaker. And she's the CEO of the Toronto Women's Expo and Empowering Women to Succeed. Is that amazing? Because of a book. And some of you may have met Well, here's a couple books. I love this one here. Roy Cleese. And the reason I'm sharing this with you with a limited amount of time is this: if you want to become valuable, publish a book, because when you publish a book, people will see you as an expert and they will want to do business with you. Okay. Also become a speaker. When you speak, for whatever reason, when you're a speaker and you're in front of a room, you're in front of a stage, whether it's 10 people or 10,000, it doesn't matter. When you're in the front of the room, people see you as an expert. So the 3 I's, remember: influence, income, and impact. So when you first, you have to create influence. How many people have written a book, spent 10, 20, 30,000? I have friends who have spent $200,000 so they could become a Wall Street best-selling author. And those books, they gave one to their mom, their dad, their brother, their sister, their aunt, their best friends, and the rest of them are sitting in their basement collecting dust. Can anyone relate to that? So yes, you should write a book, but you want to be able to write a book to create influence, create that influence, and then the income's going to come. See, if nobody knows you, why would they want to buy from you? Why would they want to do business with you? Create influence, income, and then you can create impact. But in order to create impact, sometimes we need to write a check. Would you guys agree with that? So yes, it doesn't necessarily always mean you need money to help out your charity or your church or your community. However, sometimes it requires money, doesn't it? Do you guys agree with that? So if you become an author and a speaker and you create influence and you make a lot of money. Now, I know some people complain about money. Like, Gordon, you always talk about money. But here's one thing I learned. Let me know if you guys agree with this. The only people who complain about money are usually people who don't have any. Have you noticed that? Or they don't have enough of it, or they always have too much month at the end of the money. So let's change that. So if you're blessed to make a lot of money, wouldn't it be great if you could help and impact a lot of people's lives? Think about this for a minute. If you write a book and you start speaking and people want to do business with you and you create a lot of income, think about last year. Let's stop here for a minute. Last year, whatever money you made, whatever was on your paycheck, if you could just add a 0 to your income, how would you feel? Just a little 0. People say zeros doesn't amount to a lot, right? But whatever you made last month, if you just added a 0 to that, how would you feel? Whatever you gave to charity last year, if you just added an additional 0, wouldn't that be amazing? The influence, the income, and the impact you can create. I'd like to finish off with this if I can. A friend of mine, Claudia Harvey, she left Citibank, an amazing career in Citibank, because she said, when I was at work, I was miserable because I wanted to be with my kids, with my family. And then she said, when I was with my family, I was miserable because I wanted to be at work. So you know what she did? She quit her job. She quit her job. She went on the Dragon's Den, kind of like the Shark Tank, and she pitched her business idea. And Kevin O'Leary, have you guys seen Kevin O'Leary from the Shark Tank? Or Mr. Wonderful? He invested in her company. And today, her product is in all the Home Depots, all the Rona stores, all around the world. And then she wrote a chapter in her book, Empowering Women to Succeed. And she wrote it in 3 of our books, Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. And so that's why I really highly encourage you, if you get a chance, to contribute your story to Landed for Success as well. And then she contributed to a number of other books. And then we taught her how to speak in front of a room. And today she is a sought after international speaker. In fact, Landed for Success, Jay Jackhampton and myself are working on an event in Nigeria that she'll be one of the speakers that will be coming alongside with us with a delegation that will be going to Nigeria to do business and to speak as well. And so if it's okay with you, I'd love to play just a very short video. I think it's 1 minute, just to give you an idea, right? The doors you can open up for yourself by being a published author and becoming a speaker. Elena or one of the team members, would you guys mind just playing the video really quickly? There's no sound, you guys.
I think you have to unmute yourself. Or...
I am unmuted.
No, I'm saying the person, I think Jay is playing. So Jay, could you unmute yourself and play?
I'll do that. Give me one more time.
Yeah, thank you.
My name is Claudia Harvey. I met Gordon So approximately about 5 years ago, and starting to work with him introduced me to absolutely new, amazing concepts, new opportunities, new ways that I never even thought that I would actually go into certain paths and directions. So Gordon introduced me to a woman named Randy. Randy and Gordon insisted I meet someone in the United States, and they basically dragged me to there and said, you need to meet this person, James, and James is going to catapult you in a whole new direction. I didn't know if I wanted to be in that new direction. So meeting James introduced me to other people who introduced me to other people, and 3 short years later, I was on massive stages in a Tony Robbins event and speaking internationally. Opened up new doors just by listening to Gordon that one day 5 years ago. And if you have any hesitation working with Gordon So, he has been such an amazing support, such an amazing person to work with. And I highly recommend that you listen to him, listen to his advice, because his advice is extremely sound.
Awesome. So let me wrap up here, you guys. Claudia mentioned James. In fact, James has been a friend of mine for 3 decades. He was homeless at one point in his life, lived in a car. He's now a multi-millionaire. He's actually going to be writing the foreword in our next coming book, Landed for Success. So you heard, what Claudia mentioned in terms of, a book and speaking. And that's one of our passions here. Jay, myself, Shilpi, Terrence, the leadership here, our passion is wanting to help you share your story because your story matters. Okay, so if you're interested in becoming an author and a speaker, I would love to have a conversation with you. And again, if you want to copy the 9 proven steps, right, to stand out from your competition, just leave a comment in the chat, and we're happy to send you a copy of that. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to share with you today.
Thank you so much, Gordon. The full package that you have given, it's amazing. The tools that all the speakers are sharing to enhance your business. I hope everyone is taking notes and understanding what are the tools that you can use, what are the attitude, what are the concept, how your mindset should be to grow your business, what are the tools. You'll be learning more. There is much more coming up. Hold tight, and there will be a notable mention of a few of the guests that we have after the speakers are done with their presentation and their talk. So let's move ahead, and I would ask Terrence to please move forward and welcome our next speaker.
Absolutely, absolutely. So far, so good. Everybody thumbs up if they're enjoying themselves. Yeah, right. So we're on. The next speaker is a gentleman who's going to talk about how to leverage events and the power of association. So guys, listen to this, how to leverage events and the power of association. So Mr. Ashok Kumar is an entrepreneur and a virtual coach who impacts methods and teaches how to increase business productivity and how to boost sales through WhatsApp. He is also doing a PhD in entrepreneurship, as a part of which he started the VLB, the Vera Level Business Group. He had always in mind to do something bigger for the business community. Ashok Kumar aimed at bringing together the greatest industry professionals from across the world and open a slew of new business opportunities. For this very purpose, he made us use of the audio chat application called Clubhouse, which is huge. Ashok found it very reliant to assemble all business persons from different sectors under one roof, also for networking and communicating. Give a warm welcome to Mr. Ashok Kumar.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's a good evening. Warm welcome to all from all over the world. This is Ashok here. Thank you, Terence and Dr. Shilpi and Dr. Zay for a wonderful opportunity. It's a great pleasure for us, Warlord Business. And I have to thank Mr. Zami for connecting here, Landed for Success. And thanks for the opportunity. Today, I'm going to have that session. I'm going to talk about your sixth finger. You can check your sixth finger. How many of you have sixth finger? Yes, the sixth finger is the thing you are using your WhatsApp. Yes, waking up early morning and sleeping at early night, late night, using your opening first time WhatsApp, late night, before sleeping also using your WhatsApp. Every time you are using your sixth finger. And that's I'm going to tell you about how the WhatsApp going to save your time and save your energy and save your people to from connect the automation your business. If you have people's, you are putting your persons in salary based, I'm going to save your that employees. If you have 10 employees, I'll make it into the only one employee using the WhatsApp automations. It automatically save your all the employees works using the WhatsApp automation. I'm going to share one video before going to my session, so you can know the WhatsApp business how going to change your life. If you are into in the business product based or service, or you're into the training based model, all the service industries, the WhatsApp going to be help you. It will change your life. It will save your time minimum per day 3 hours. I'm going to share on video before going my session. It will change your mind. Yes, she's like Shilpi, only one person handling everything. And if you have a WhatsApp, you can do magic with your business. You can handle all the things with using only WhatsApp. It will be connected to your business. If you want to do purchase or sales and you want to make a unlimited business, it will be helpful your WhatsApp business. I'm going to share my PPT. How today it will be going to help you about the WhatsApp automation. It's a WhatsApp hack growth. You're going to learn few tips and tricks from your WhatsApp. Before that, I have to know how many years of using your WhatsApp. Put in chat box. You can use the chat box. How many of years is using WhatsApp? I have changed more than 2,000 people's life into the WhatsApp automations. They are doing an excellent business using your WhatsApp. Okay, thanks for the response for 2 to 6 years. If you're using WhatsApp more than 5 years, definitely it will also going to help you out. You're going to automate your business. 2 or 3 tips. It will be change your business. It will save your time again. It's a WhatsApp Growth Hacks 2022. I'm going to use, and also we and Dr. Zay have planned for conduct the course in WhatsApp automation in Canada. So that link also will share it in chat box. You can join it. So today I'm going to tell about the WhatsApp hidden secrets tricks in 2022. It's newly updated that will help you out in WhatsApp automation. And this is Ashok. I'm a WhatsApp automation master. I will convert your business into automation. Why WhatsApp automation? I'm talking about this much because the main thing is your audience, target audience. The world's most used social platform. This is a report of last 2021 report. The first, the using most used social media is Facebook, and second one is YouTube. Third one is WhatsApp. More than 2,000 million people are using. Now it's became 3,000 million peoples. After coming out that Facebook owns WhatsApp, it automatically the increase of WhatsApp usage is high. The thing is, you can use WhatsApp anywhere in your tab or laptop or system, mobile, anywhere you can use it. Be now everything is automated. Now it's a free and paid automation scheme. I'm going to talk about the free things what is available. Also, I will share about the paid WhatsApp tricks that will be in my course. You can learn laterally. The three main important things you have to know about WhatsApp. It's a ABC of WhatsApp marketing. The first is you should know about your target audience, where you're going to promote your product or services. The second one is B is the branding. The brand is very, very important. You have to update your WhatsApp profile and everything. Whenever you're doing a WhatsApp promotion, you should update even your profile and the website and everything you have to do. That's only how to, that's I shared that video, you can see that profile. And the third important thing is content. The content is very much important while sharing your informations. Without content, people will not get about your WhatsApp informations, that your product, services, which you are going to give. The three main things you should know before doing promotions: audience, brand, and content. Using these three ABC, you can promote your business easily. This is a new features which is come on 2022. That is a beta version. WhatsApp is updated using WhatsApp automation, using a website. Yeah, it will be, you can use in your laptop or system, and you can multiple device you can use. That is a meta version. It's updated in WhatsApp. If you're using WhatsApp in one mobile, now you can use it WhatsApp in 3-4 mobiles. You can use it using the AnyDesk. Going to the web.whatsapp.com, you can enter your QR code and you can use it. You can share with your employees using one number. The three device, more than 3 devices we can use. And one more update is new update. That is a WhatsApp group. Before it was only 256 group members. Now you can create up to 512 members. It is a new updated. You can check it in your WhatsApp group. That link also will be shared over in chat box. And then more important matter is WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram totally is integrated. If you want to promote your business in a Facebook, you can do. You can want to promote the advertisement in our Instagram. That also you can do in using a WhatsApp. It's automatically connected with metaverses, Facebook and Instagram. And the one more thing is WhatsApp store. There are so many updates came. There you can sell your product using the payment. That is also updated in WhatsApp, newly updated in recently in India. Like you are using PhonePe, Google Pay, Paytm, like that. The payment automation also you can use. That is a UPI payment. And I'm going to tell about the WhatsApp basic information. You have to update in. Might be you don't know about the sizes which you have to use in WhatsApp. Here you can take a screenshot. This is the ideal posters. Yeah, all the time you have to send 1018 to 1920 pixel. And the profile image is the very, very important. The 500 pixel. You have to always. This is a professional method that people are using all over the world. This is a report from that WhatsApp website. And one more thing, you have to use the ideal time. For people using all over the world, there is ideal time using a WhatsApp. You want to send the message in the time morning 7 to 9, and afternoon 12 to 2, and evening 6 to 7, and night 9 to 10. This is a better time you can promote your WhatsApp. And one more thing, the address which you have location, everything is connected with Foursquare.com. Maybe if you're using BlackBerry, you know about Foursquare.com. There is updated in your address and everything you're sharing the current location. That is everything connected with the Foursquare. You can check it later. And the two things I'm going to share, the do's and don'ts in WhatsApp. Before using promotion or marketing using a bulk message, you have to read the WhatsApp policies. What are the WhatsApp policies you have in WhatsApp business and WhatsApp? You have to read all the policies, and you have to build your business profile that dedicated with your single number. I'm going to show you the business profile later, which is Dr. Zay is using business profile. I need to share his profile also. And prepare a separate database. Don't send all the message to all persons. Prepare separate databases, and you can send the promotions marketing, and define your message without captions. You don't send message because people get confused the message, because repeatedly you are sending message. The caption will identify your messages, and use the colorful graphical medias. Nowadays, the Canva is available. You can create many posters there. You can promote your business. WhatsApp profile is there. You can promote it, and automate your messages. Don't send repeatedly morning, afternoon, like evening. Plan and fix the messages you are sending for your client, your customers. So you can prepare a time once a daily or thrice a week, and you can send. What things you don't do, that's don't before sending message, just make it as this is a confidential information. Might be you can get option to hack your WhatsApp using unwanted links. So don't click the unwanted links. Make it a confidential information only you can share. And this is not your corporate email. If you're having any business communication, use your only email communication. Don't use WhatsApp. And do not wait to customers to send a message. That's only I'm here. You can make it automation 24/7. You can make your customers to freely ask any questions automatically. The automation bot will be help you to support your customers. And do not buy any mailing list like bulk messages and everything. It will be block your WhatsApp number. I will help you how to do the things randomly to send a message to all the process. And don't send irrelevant content. Now WhatsApp, everything is tracking your messages. And finally, I have to tell that customer is always your God. How to reply immediately. That will help you. The WhatsApp automation. That will. I'm talking with Dr. Zay to connect with you. WhatsApp automation. I'm going to share the tools. What is the important tool? This is the important tool only. How to build your profile, manage your business using a business profile, catalog, and Facebook, WhatsApp connections, and profile logo and catalog manager. Now I'm going to share one more screen that is to help you to know about how to handle the things, because I'm going to share Zay's profile. There you might know how he's handling the WhatsApp business effectively. I'm going to share Zay's profile. You can find his product and things. Yes, I'm going to share. Yes, and this is Zay's profile. You can find his products and things. Everything is updated. You can see his profile, advertisement companies he's handling, and you can see the products which he is available, having the products. See, you can easily buy the products. He is a mentoring for, he is doing mentors course, Google My Business page, and Land of Success authorship. You can check it out. You can find that value. You can see and click it. This is the thing I have already told you. The branding is very, very important, and the audience we under the content. This is the link which he is created, and the mention the amount also everything. You can put in add to cart. Automatically will be goes in the cart. There you can buy it out. See, order everything and do automation. You can create a profile easily. You can do it. The only one thing is you need a WhatsApp business profile. Using WhatsApp business only you can do the magics. If you want to send a automation message, you can send automatic using that quick replace. Everything is default in WhatsApp business. Using that chat box, you can create a automation. See, like I'm going to send type social media, like automatically my social media profile goes to his account. See, I did not copy and paste anything. I'm just typed the social media. I'm just typing feedback. It automatically goes feedback content. This is the content default as I have created. This is comes in quick replay, which will build on your WhatsApp business. There you can find the WhatsApp catalog, WhatsApp document, and the profile. Everything you can do it. This is the main thing. You have to build your profile. Automatically comes your WhatsApp profile. This is the thing I have created in my WhatsApp workshop. I'm going to share Jay's account. Maybe he later on he will do that things. Here he can find all the auto attachment, quick replace, business catalogs, and documentations. Everything you can find. So if you want to build a business promotion automation, you can create it. Here you can find the small tricks. I'm going to share another 2 minutes. I'll wind up the session. Yes. And here you can see the profile chat filters menu. Here automatically you can filter. This is my customized profile. You can find the business profile I have created, Google My Business, digital supporters, Joint workshop. Here you can silver, gold, platinum. This is a real members I have created. This is using that labels I have created. There is a label option is there. You can filter the customers audience wise. You can segregate, and you have that Using the setting option, you can build your profile. You can see the catalog, profile, star messages, settings. You can find. You can build your profile here. You can see my profile. This is Warlol business which profile I have created. You can put on your business profile and business locations and opening hours, closing hours, your website, email, everything you can do using your WhatsApp business. You can edit and create a catalogs whichever you want. You might have products or services, everything, and you can create using only web.whatsapp.com, which I have told you already, using the web.whatsapp.com, where you can go and you can log in using your QR code. There you can build your profile. Maybe you using a WhatsApp or the WhatsApp business. Just go and type web.whatsapp.com. Here you can log in and you can do the magic with your clients and things. More things you want to know about this WhatsApp course, you can join our Canada team course. You can find that what are the features available. There you can get so many things. That is a WhatsApp Facebook connected account, WhatsApp Instagram account, and a WhatsApp website account. You can get these benefits. You can get the WhatsApp chatbot free and WhatsApp payment gateway free and WhatsApp bulk message tool, which you can send multiple message one time using WhatsApp bulk message 10,000, 50,000, 1 lakh. And also you will give the WhatsApp Excel tool that you can use using WhatsApp mobile. And the automation lead generation workshop also going to give you the free lead generation. You can create so much of leads for your product and services. Finally, I'll give you a WhatsApp business card for you. It will be helpful for to connect all your WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Telegram. Everything will be connected with the WhatsApp card. And the final thing is I'll give you WhatsApp calendar where you can put the status, WhatsApp marketing tips and everything in calendar wise. This all will get you for the if you're joining the next level courses. I will share that courses in chat box. The link you can join using that WhatsApp group. There you can join. We will let you know how the WhatsApp is going to help you out in the class. The J will help you out that join the class. And thank you. This is Ashok, WhatsApp master. I'll save your time 3 hours per day. You can join the course later. Thank you. It was a wonderful opportunity. Thanks for the Landed for Success and the team, Garden So, Silpi, and Jay, the wonderful opportunity. Thank you once again. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ashok. And folks, just want you to, because of the time restraint, Ashok had to go through it in a very fast phase. But he did mention, and this is the beauty of those who are not members of Landed for Success, those who are not on this platform, they should speak to one of us and make sure, because with Ashok being part of the group and Jay doing the items on LinkedIn that can train you on a professional basis, and then Gordon on the other end, and Shilpi with her information, and myself, you can get everything basically in a model of Costco and build your business on a very, very easy format. And I might say a cheap format. But this education, what you just gave us, Ashok, I can guarantee you 90% of the people in the room have no idea, except Jay. Okay, so guaranteed, I know, including myself. So thank you so very much for that information. Much appreciated. And back to you, Shilpi.
Thank you, Ashok, and thank you. Moving on to the next. Before moving on to the next, I would like to actually say a few of the things again. We have a question answer round, and we have notable mention of few of the guests here. But once we have the last speaker of the day, and then we move to the next section, that is the question answer round, and there'll be many more exciting things coming up. So hold on tight. And what was the thing that I wanted to say? Yes. So all those who have joined late and missed some of the speakers, we have been talking about the tools and what are the strategies you can use to build your business or to take your business a notch higher. So when we have learned about metaphors, we have learned about the etiquettes, we have learned about the mindset, we have learned about tools like podcast and being a speaker, and how being an author can help you to be a professional, have your digital presence. And again, we have learned about WhatsApp, and now we have Jay Jayakantan. So a little bit about him. He is the founder and chairman of Avaj Group. Jay is a highly successful entrepreneur and IT professional with over 22 years in business development, project management, and business transformation for Fortune 200 companies. He is a director of Sophia Hilton Foundation of Canada, executive director of Never Give Up Foundation, and was also a past director of Canadian Tamils Chamber of Commerce and member of Markham Board of Trade. Jay is also the co-founder and CEO of Lander for Success. He's also an international best-selling author and social media influencer, and is actively involved with many volunteer and advocacy organizations in Canada. An expert and coach on various fields like LinkedIn, Google My Business page, productivity, empowerment, and so much more. So please welcome him. And if you have any questions with any one of the speakers, please hold on. All the guests, all the speakers will answer your question. But now let's hear it from Jay. Jay, please, the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Thank you for that kind introduction, Shilpi. And everyone, I'm going to switch it up a little here because at Landed for Success, myself and Gordon, we believe in networking. Originally, I was going to do tips, but again, like for the people who are in this room, we will want to network with you. We will want to hear from you. So we will give you after the question and answer session from Shilpi and Terence. By the way, let's give a huge round of applause for Shilpi and Terence, who tirelessly to work to put this together. Before I start, I wanted to mention, because it's very important for me to document this, you never know who you are in this room with. Like we had 50 people in this room. We have people from India, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, India, Bahrain, Cambodia, Bangladesh. Can you imagine, like in this room, like if I like I'm sure I must have missed some countries here. It makes us truly an international figure, because the people who are sitting here, I'll give you some, before I speak a little bit about the speakers we have here, I want to give a couple of people who are in here. We have a medical doctor, Urmila is here in the room. We have Sudha, who's a teacher, is in this room. We have Rashmi, an art professional, is in this room. We have an ex-judge, Jay Chaugan, is in the room. And we have Dr. Siraj, from Malaysia, who works with Dato Sri, is here in the room. And can you imagine, like I just only mentioned few people, like there are other people who are like, I go to Ashok's. Let me start off with Ashok. Like he actually reamed through the WhatsApp. I wish I would have given my time to Ashok. WhatsApp, like he's actually an international WhatsApp expert, guys. Like to have him among us to use WhatsApp to create leads, it's going to benefit your business. It doesn't really matter what business you are in. Please connect with him or connect with us. We will do some session, because as I say, or like what we say at Landed for Success is, we learn from each other and we learn from everybody. Oh, by the way, Dr. Siraj is from Cambodia. Can you imagine we have somebody from Cambodia? Welcome. So I spoke a little bit about Ashok, and I also tell about Q. Q is like Terence said, he has a massive bio and he's a very humble human being. He's the producer of Omni television for the Iranian community that goes on a weekly basis. You know how much hard, like what kind of connection that he have and what kind of a reach that he has, that he's in our room. You will get to meet him in our live events. Gordon is planning, and we are planning something on the 17th. You will get to meet him. And if you are in Malaysia, Singapore, India, fly. Like everybody is welcome to fly here. Let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Brenda Beck. She's actually a Canadian, actually went to Coimbatore in India, and that's where she did her PhD in Annan Markadai. So Coimbatore, like she showed the pictures with the lotus, right? Like she's an anthropologist in the folklore, and she knows, like she have DVDs, books, and she even have in her 100-acre property, she has 2 horses, and she have made that. So she's in this room, and she already created a fund in UFT, and she's educating and giving them grants for people to study. So the reason I'm mentioning that is because on a Saturday evening outside and a Saturday morning, you showed up because that shows commitment. So what I would want to do is, what is in it for you? Please feel free to put your LinkedIn profile in the chat. I want to connect with you. Please put in your Instagram in there, because at the end of the day, when you're walking out, you should have 50 LinkedIn connections, 50 Instagram connections, 50 emails. Where else you're going to get 50 emails for just showing up? Because that's what we do at Landed for Success. And that is what networking is all about. So you never know, like you don't really need, like for me, like when I go to, I'm just picking on Ashok because he went last. I go to VLV group every morning to listen because I got to know through my friend Zami, who was here. Zami introduced me to Ashok. Ever since he introduced me, I go to his group. He have about 13,000 members in his group, and I go listen to them. And then they'll say, oh, I'm a graphic designer. I'll say, you know what? I'm looking for a graphic designer. I hired a graphic designer. And somebody will come and say, oh, I do fish pickle or whatever. Oh, you know what? I need to buy that. I have got so many connections on both sides, like on a service level and a product level, but just showing up. And let me tell you, I saved the, like, how do I say, like, I did not mention a little bit about our guest of honor, Dattashri. Oh my God, what a humble man. He has been an inspiration for me and Zami and Gordon Legby and Shilpi and Terrence. Humble guy, he's giving back. And I was talking to him, like talking to him like about the doctorship. In 2021, he have identified people around the world who have contributed so much to the community, and through his Chamber of Commerce, he have awarded doctorship. So somebody like you, everybody in this room, you are doing so many things. So you never know like who's watching and say, you know what, this person need to be recognized or identified. So anyways, I have said enough about networking. So I'm going to give it back to our host to get the question as answer section, and then we can do some networking, because that is what I wanted to know, because we can have an individual conversation and learn about it. Look at Grace. Grace is one of the Landed for Success member. She shows up for every single event, whether it's a live event or a virtual event. Like Grace, I commend you for your commitment. We have an accountant here, Naomi, who's an accounting person for not only one location. She's a franchise accountant. So even like accounting is a kryptonite for me. But when somebody says I'm not just a one accountant, I just take care of a corporate franchise, it's amazing. So I would encourage everybody here to ask questions to Brenda Beggs, Q, Ashok, Gordon, Terrence, Shilpi, because that's the only way we can learn. Because I'm supposed to give you a tips about what AI is going to give Landed for Success. But you know what, because of the time constraint, we will have another session, because before that we were talking. So there are so many wealth of knowledge is in this room. Let's network and walk away today with some meaningful connection. With that, thank you for the opportunity. Over to you, Shilpi and Terrence.
Thank you, Jay. And I hope all the people who are here are getting what you want, what you were looking for. If there is some questions you have, this is the moment when you just shoot your questions in the chat and we will look for your questions. I'm looking for your questions. My chat is open. If you have any questions, just write it there, and we will give a couple of minutes while I'm talking. Take your time, write your questions, and we'll get all the answers that you have. So just giving a recap for those who have joined late, and then we will go to notable mention to all, so many guests. I'm so happy to see so many faces who have joined. Trust me, they're just here. I don't know what they're looking for, but they are here for supporting. That's what I think. So I would like to mention that as well, and their names. And everyone is special. It's not that I'm picking and choosing everyone. time is valuable, but I personally feel that, okay, so some are here and they need some notable mention, because I did not know if they had that much of time to show up, but they are here. And I see some of people writing. Are you writing questions? If you're writing questions, please let me know. I'm seeing the chat. Meanwhile, if you don't have any questions, if you think you're all satisfied, you got all the questions, then we can move to the next and we can have the notable mention. Please, can you remove from the spotlight so that I see all the people's faces? I want to see everyone's face and not mine. Meanwhile, I would like to start, Jay has done a wonderful job on saying about everyone. I don't know, I wanted to say something about everyone. Let me start with Jay, because he has the idea of this event, and the event would not have been possible without him, and Gordon and Terence for doing this, for doing all that together, and the team behind this. Are you writing the question? Okay, we have a question here. So meanwhile, I'll talk and you write the questions. It's going to be that way, okay? So that you don't get bored. So I'm just talking. No. Okay, so and then I wanted to actually mention the speakers who have given so much of time. They have mentioned so much. There are a few things that I would like to mention. One, that I want to publicly thank for the doctorate that has been awarded to me by Dattashri. I would like to take an opportunity and thank him. And I would like to mention about Ashok. He's a world record holder. That was, again, something that I wanted to mention. He has done a 365 days Clubhouse world record, and it's such a wonderful story of persistence that he has demonstrated to us. And I wanted to mention that he is the founder of the VLB, Very Level Business, which was mentioned during his intro. But I would like to again thank him for making me a part of the world record, and I do have a certificate of the world record as well. So enough of these talk that I have said, and thank you so much for listening to me. And now we move to the questions that we have. I see some of the questions. Okay, there is one question which says, Dattashri, it is for you. It is from Sunil. I would like to actually mention Lieutenant Colonel Sunil for being here. And thank you for being here. And the question is, how do you see India-Malaysia relations shaping up in the next decade? What does both countries offer to your business association? I think Dattashri is so good with the business association. He just connects people. I think it's a great question for him. Dattashri, would you like to answer that question, please?
Sure, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Do you want to?
Okay.
Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yeah, I think, can I answer?
Yes,
Can I
absolutely.
answer
Please go ahead. Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
a relationship with India is something like we all are Indians. It's quite easy to get to know each other. Even get to know you, it's a pleasure. And Colonel is quite well known. He has been here in Malaysia. I met him. And I think just a matter of time, you'll come back to Malaysia and we will work together. Let it be any country, we are ready to work together. And as you know, there's a saying, Malaysia is truly Asia. We are ready to get investors from any part of the world to come here. I will make sure that you meet the right people, the ministers or the ministry department. What else? So should have no problem. Just send a note to us. And I've met our colonel from India. He's such a great guy. He has been in the force and he taught me something that's called Mother India. Mother India is India, and we all love India very much. So hope he comes to visit us. And of course, he thinks very nice of you, Dr. Silpi.
Thank you. Thank you, Dattashri. Thank you. And I hope...
Doctor, I got one more thing to answer. I would like to say, Gordon Su, he talked to me about durians, the king of the king, the fruits is the king in the world. And he did mention about durian. Just let him know, now is durian season in Malaysia. And if there's anyone interested to open up a plantation, durian plantation, his big money is there to export to China. China with the population, they all like this durian. The project is quite good. And then one more, I have our Dr. Siraj from Cambodia. Anyone interested to go and do any investment in big hotels, you please contact him. He's very well connected with all the ministers. Even the Prime Minister is very well connected with him, and you've got a very safe business with him. It's straightforward. You just go there, you put in your money, you get your money within a short time. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sri. We have some more questions here. This question is for Dr. Brenda Beck. The question is, why did you pick Coimbatore to do your PhD?
Well, first, let me say, why did I pick Tamil Nadu?
Absolutely.
Because I chose in stages. I was at Oxford University, and as an anthropologist, it was required that I go somewhere, and they recommended one of the places where the British Raj had been powerful. So they said, well, choose Africa or choose India. So my first choice was India. And then they said, now you must choose a language. What language do you want to learn? And I said, I want to learn Tamil. Now, why did I choose Tamil? It was because it was a Dravidian language. And most of the languages in India are Indo-European. So they're related to languages that I already had studied or knew something about. I wanted a way of thinking that would be different. And I knew that language helps to open the mind, like get out of the box and see things differently. So I said, okay, let me learn Tamil. Tamil, padika venu, if those of you who know Tamil.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So the general tradition was to go and spend 2 years in the place that you were going to do your research. So I went to Tamil Nadu, but first I went to France, to Paris, because there was a famous professor there who had worked in South India. So I asked his advice, where do you recommend that I go? And he had worked in Madurai. And he said, while I was in Madurai, some people from the Coimbatore area came to Madurai and I met them. They were very interesting. It seemed a little bit different from the Madurai area, but I never had a chance to go to the Coimbatore area. So he said, I recommend you go there, and it's called Kongu Nadu. It's a subdivision of Tamil Nadu. So I went to Coimbatore, and I stayed at first, the only place I knew, I went to the YWCA, and I stayed in the women's hostel there. But the people were very nice, but the problem was all the girls in the hostel wanted to learn English. And I didn't want to speak English, I wanted to learn Tamil. So I said, okay, I have to get out of Coimbatore and go somewhere where nobody's speaking English. And so I asked to go to a sort of cultural center in Kongu Nadu, which had old traditions and where I could hopefully learn Tamil. And people said, well, Kangiam is an important cultural center. So I went to Kangiam and I met a doctor there who worked in a lot of villages near Kangiam. And he said, well, come with me. I go out to the villages to help people when they're sick. So come with me, you can meet people. And I went with him and I met some people in this one village, which was quite attractive to me. And there was a village kind of development worker there. He said, I know a woman who can be your cook and live with you and help you get started. So I met her. I thought she was very nice. And she didn't know a word of English. So that was exactly what I wanted. So I chose that village and I stayed there for 2 years.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh my God, that's amazing. I don't have words to say. This is really amazing. I'm blown. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. There is another question that I have, and this is for Q. What is the role of media in today's business world?
Good question. A very good question. Extremely important. We have two kinds of media, as basically Mr. Trump has established. Media that is contributed and they've devoted to fake news, which is a lot of them. And then the one that they are independent and real. We as I've been just said, I've been in the broadcasting in over 30 years. And I took upon myself to do our best of my knowledge, provide the right and accurate information. And if I doubt it, I won't air it. So we are in an information age, but there is lots of wrong and not so true informations out there. We talk, it's not just for the media, it's also for the social media. We have to develop a sense. As we are living in we are living in an information age, we're getting bombarded, secondly, with information. But we have to also learn how to differentiate with what we get and what we don't. Everybody just goes right to the Google. Obviously, media is now find the competitive. So whatever you put out and I broadcast, people can go double check it in many other sources to say what I put on. So our role is more than ever is important. And also fast. Speed is the basically the main topic that we have to deal with it, and accuracy. The media has been very, I think, had this responsibility from its foundation to provide accurate information, because whatever you put on, it basically goes to the soul of the people. So you have to have a kind of ethic in it. You have to be extremely ethical and be aware of what you're saying and how it's going to impact the public and your demographic.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Q. These were invaluable insights that we have received now from the speakers. And honestly, I would say for everyone who is watching here, please, just a moment. So with this, I think we don't see any more questions. We have here people, we can actually have a little bit of introduction of all the people that we have. But before going to that, we have one more question, and that's for Ashok. Ashok, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Yes, tell me. Thank you.
What does WhatsApp usage looks like for an individual who doesn't know business? Like, I'm new in business and I want to use WhatsApp business. What tough thing? Is it tough or an easy thing for me? What do you suggest?
Easy, very easy. Only you can handling things. It's like you using game. You can it will be like a game business. You can do. It's like a number game only. So easily you can have it chats and connecting everything. You can do it in a statistical way. You can do it. It's even like if you're a beginner, you're a startup, you can do a lot of things in using WhatsApp. You don't believe in India, people using only WhatsApp, they are doing business.
Oh wow!
Without
that's
any
amazing.
setup, without any office setup, they are not paying rent, they are not paying EB charges, they are not giving to salary to anyone. They don't have website. They have only one mobile, one WhatsApp number. They are doing magic.
Wow, that's incredible to know.
So,
I think for all the yes, please.
The only WhatsApp is more enough to do business. All the social media platform you can connect easily. You can convert into business at any level. I'm supporting on that.
That's amazing. I think for all those who want to know more, please connect to the person that you resonate with. The tools that they have said you think are the tools that is required in your, or you can explore more, connect with them. Now, thank you. We have, and like we are coming to a close with the question answer, and now we can move next. And next, as Jay said, he wanted to have a little bit of networking. Let's do a little bit of networking and get to know all the people who are here. So I would like to mention some of the people here who have come. If I've missed some, please, I am sorry. Thank you, Ms. Bornali Vishwas, for coming. That's an amazing thing for me that you have come. Thomas Lowe, I actually don't see you here right now, but thank you so much for coming. And thank you, everyone. I'm unable to take each and everyone's name. It would be tedious. And I remember Urmila has raised her hand, and I couldn't actually entertain her then. Urmila, please unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and share what you wanted to. Thank you.
Hi, Shilpi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, I have to congratulate you and Jay and Dr. Gordon and Mr. Terrence and the entire team here. You all have contributed so much to the Landed of Success and especially our community here. And on that note, I want to apologize to Dr. Gordon, because I couldn't make it to your function due to constraints, in the medical field. I just have one question, actually not a question. I want to say something that the Brampton Library CEO, Mr. Todd Kyle, he is actually amazingly a humble person who I had the privilege of meeting several times because I contribute to the community. And he's looking for people, like we are shortage of actually employees, like people to because work part-time. As Dr. Ashok Kumar rightly, very smartly said, people just don't want to spend anything, cut the labor and do it, from their home or just one number. So he was asking if any newcomers or even these seniors or it's like all walks of life, if anybody wants to, newcomers who are already in Canada or who are in the immigration system, in the processing, the backlog, et cetera, who are looking for jobs, to come, please apply for jobs. There are so many vacancies, but it's just that sometimes the funding and he can't guarantee because there's an interview process and it says. So I just wanted to let Jay know and you, because I know you're overwhelmed, Shilpi, you do so much alone, but I guess being tech savvy, Jay can take care of it, or he can already, one of you can talk to me later after the meeting. And I also want to thank Dr. Brenda, who's like, she blew me away with her Tamil, Coimbatore, Tamil, et cetera, language. I guess like there's no age for learning and for looking for opportunities. So thank you. And one last suggestion, it's only because of the time. How about we try and have another session or something so that we definitely, because so many amazing speakers, I wish I could listen to the other speakers. It's sad that because of time constraint, we can't listen to any of them and we have to cut short. So thank you for giving me an opportunity, and good luck to everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Urmila. The next person I would like to call is Purbi. Purbi, please feel free to unmute yourself and share about you.
There. Sorry about that. Okay, hi everyone. Thank you so much for this lovely event. Sam Jha, who had actually sent me the invite, and I registered quickly, and so to make sure that I would be there on time, because doing crazy things all over the place. Anyway, hello everybody. My name is Purbi Sinha Das. I live in Pickering, Ontario, Canada, and I am an author, poet, and essayist. And the last 3 years actually have been very productive for me, because I've been living like a hermit at home because of the pandemic. And I published my first book, a book of personal essays in 2020, just after the declaration of pandemic. So that was what was keeping my hope up, because I was so uncertain, like everyone else, confused and not knowing what to do. Anyway, 2021 came around and I published my novel, which is a story of one woman's journey. It's like I've written it down. It's a one woman's journey in search for both her heritage and her own identity as a woman. So that is Moonlight, The Journey Begins. That is my debut novel. And my next book that came out last month, that is an anthology. The name is 22 for 22. There are 22 literary pieces in this anthology of short stories, poetry, and some magical travel vignettes. When I was composing this and I was putting it all together, I thought, who doesn't need hope in these times of vulnerability? We are so vulnerable as a society, as a global community. Who does not need hope even now? So that is what is the common thread that is binding all these pieces in my new book, 22 for 22. Thank you so much.
Thank you
very much.
so much, Purvi, for sharing with us.
Shilpi, do you mind if I jump in?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd just like to make mention a couple of things. First and foremost, for those who have come on this platform, I thank you. For those who are not members, please inquire more about what we do with Landed for Success and for Landed for Success. We as a group work together. I've joined the company when they started Landed for Success in April of 2020, and I've been the executive member and host since then. And I have made sure that we are just enjoying each other's business opportunity and each other as a human being. So this is a very, very, very important platform that if you're not on it, by now you've learned that it's very, very worthwhile to be on it. That's the first thing I like to mention. A little make mention of some people on the list. There's this lady who's her name is Jo Balaris. She works with me in another company, and she's a pharmacist, she's a PSW, and she's a very, honorable person, and she's going to be part of Landed for Success very soon. I thank her. If she wants to come on to speak, fine, I'd appreciate it. If not, I've got my good friend, Mr. Jay Chauhan, who's the ex-deputy judge of Canada for the last 24 years, and who's already a lawyer and has about 12 lawyers mentoring for himself. So Jay, if you want to say a few words, if Shilpi allows it, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Terence. Yes, I was a deputy judge for 24 years in Ontario, Canada. I live in a town called Richmond Hill, Ontario. I know Terence very well, and we're working on things together. But I was very excited to hear Purabi, actually, because she's an author. And just to tell you, Purabi, I wrote a novel also to tell my experience of the post-war period in the empire history. So my novel, which I put in the chat book, is called Loving the Empire. It's a 500-page book. So nobody wants to read 500 pages these days, but if you won't read it, I would like to give you a copy. So I still have a lawyer. I'm a lawyer in England, India, and Canada. But most of my work is done here. I do lecturing to many universities, and I still do lectures in Ontario for educational purposes. So that's my background. I look forward to working with many of you. And I was very inspired to see some very accomplished people in this group, including this professor back who went and learned Tamil. It happened to me when I wanted to do my master's in economics, and I went to University of Berlin. But to learn German was a challenge by itself. I perfected it to the point where my wife, she didn't speak German, and I was able to sit in Berlin, Germany, where I could translate simultaneously, but I had reached that level of ability in the language. So I really admire in meeting people of that caliber. Thank you so much, Terence. It was a pleasure to be in this meeting.
Thank you very much, Jay. Back to you, Shil.
Thank you so much. So moving on to the next person, before moving on to the next person, I want to mention a few of the things, because we are trying to, keep the time frame, like the constraints that we have. We are trying to just maneuver somehow. So I would request everyone to take a minute or so, so that the next speaker gets chance and we don't have to rush the other people. There are a few of the things that I want to say. Some of you are asking some of the questions, like how you can become a member, or you want some contact details. Please share that on the chat. And if your question is not answered, please ask again, because you should ask again until you get the answers. Okay. And I have few mentions to make. I'll go one by one, of course. So now I would like to call Lieutenant Colonel Sunil Narula. Please unmute yourself and share with us few words.
Thank you, Shilpi. Great to be here. And my reason to be here is my beloved Dato Shri, who's a charismatic persona. And the kind of love I got in Malaysia was unparalleled because I've been doing so much of work on the social front after leaving the army in 2007. And I was heading an American company for 6 years as a CEO for India. And then I moved on to Make in India, which was a Modi's vision into technology, set up advanced composite facility with Suzlon. And now I am a Suzlon Energy Chief of Administration. And my journey of entrepreneurship has got a big boost by the encouragement I got from Dato Shri. And I asked him that question of India, Malaysia, and let me tell you, Dato, with the grace of God, I've already chalked out a plan for automotive industry collaboration and a special collaboration in another emerging sector other than automotive, which is related to lots of software issues, which safety issues which a country may face. And I just want to say that, Shilpi, I want to learn the composure of Dato Shri, because being an army man, war wounded, decorated, and having just done fighting, and I would like to make my dear Canadian friends happy that I nan Tamil Terium Konjam Konjam. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service to the country, and thank you for sharing this with us.
Shilpi, I want to jump in, and I also want to go. So we do have a lieutenant colonel retired in the room, which is amazing. And I also wanted to do that with my business partner, Gordon. So thank you for the service that you have done, Lieutenant Colonel Sunil.
So moving on to the next person, I have Dr. Thompson Lowe. Dr. Thompson, please, if you're there, unmute yourself and share with us. I have actually seen him a couple of minutes back, but yes, he is here.
Doctor, say some few words. Dr. Thompson.
You're not audible actually. We can't hear you. No.
Dr. Thompson, are you there?
I think there is some audio problem that he's facing. Yeah, we cannot hear you. Am I the only one, or?
Yeah, I think he's having audio problems, so we can move on and we can come back to him next.
Yes, absolutely. Dr. Thompson, I think we'll just move on and we'll come back to you once it's sorted. You take your time. So the next person I would like to invite is Barnali Biswas. If you are there, please unmute yourself, switch on your camera if you can, and share with us. Okay, I don't see her, so we'll move to the next person, Dr. Shivam. Okay.
Hi, this is Dr. Shivam, Ms. Shilpi. Dr.
Yes.
Shilpi, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm unable to project my video, but anyway, I'm from Malaysia. I'm very thankful to our great Dato Sri Venugopal, and he has been instrumental into our Malaysia, South India Chamber of Commerce and the business fraternity. And I'm indebted to him. And myself, I am dealing with consulting. I'm mainly on infrastructure project and project funding based on sovereign guarantee. So my informations are already stipulated in the chat box. So anybody want to contact me, please do so. Thank you very much for the opportunity. See you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. And I would request everyone, please switch on your camera, because it becomes a little difficult for me to understand if you're there or not. And moving on to the next person, we have Arul Kumaran. Arul Kumaran, please unmute yourself and share with us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for Selfie. First of all, I thank to Ashok from India for the wonderful opportunity for landing success at HA through Clubhouse. Thank you so much. By the way, I am Arul Kumar. I am a stock market coach. I'm an expert for US market as well as Indian market. I trained 9 years baby to become a professional trader. If If you want, you can connect at 9894299349. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arul Kumaran. We move to the next person, who is Anand Kanchi. Please unmute yourself and yes, thank you.
Thank you for all. Thank you, Shilpi, and thanks for this opportunities for Mr. Ashok and Mr. Zami and Dr. J. So I'm doing an for export in agro product. My native is Kanchipuram in Tamil Nadu, India. We are dealing in agro products and silk sarees and like herbal products like rice and pulses cereals. Thank you for opportunities for speaking for this meeting, and thank you, Shilpi. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to move
Can
to
I
the
jump
next.
in? So
Absolutely.
I have to mention a little bit about Anand because Zami did call me. He holds an international export or import license with the, I know there are people from Sri Lanka here, like he has the export of rice because with the recent situation that's happening around the world, especially in Sri Lanka, there are, if anybody like in this room who wants to start a business by exporting, like even he has the export to bring stuff from all over the world to Canada, but especially in Sri Lanka, if there is any rice thing, he would be the person to contact. So I did have a conversation with Zami. Zami mentioned that Ananda will be joining. So thank you for joining, and we will put the information and we will connect you to the right people, Anand.
Sir, sir, vanakkam sir, Venugopal sir. Datto sir. உங்கள் உதவி எனக்கு தேவைப்படுது சார்.
சொல்லுங்க.
உங்கள் உதவி எனக்கு தேவைப்படுது சார்.
ஓகே, சொல்லுங்க என்ன செய்யுங்க.
ஃபார் நான் வந்து எக்ஸ்போர்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். ஐ அம் டூயிங் ஃபார் எக்ஸ்போர்ட் ஃபார் அக்ரோ ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் ரைஸ் அண்ட் cereals அண்ட் pulses.
ஓகே.
ஃபார் சிங்கப்பூர் அண்ட் கனடா அண்ட் அதர் கண்ட்ரீஸ் ஆல்சோ சார்.
ஓகே.
Thank you for opportunities.
Connect பண்ணுங்க. I will try to do whatever I can for you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Jay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person on my screen is Rahul Ahuja. Rahul, please feel free to unmute yourself and share. And meanwhile, I would request everyone, please feel free to switch on your camera because then it becomes easier for me to call. And by default, the names with the camera actually, shuffles and comes up first. So please make sure your camera is on. Thank you. Rahul, the floor is yours.
Oh, here I am. Oh. Thank you, Shilpi. And it's nice seeing everyone. Shilpi, Jay, Terence, Gordon, and to imbibe wisdom from our great speakers today and to see the lovely faces. So about me, well, that's very simple. I'm an ordinary person with extraordinary humor and customized financial solutions. So I'll share my link on the chat, so please feel free to connect. And what I'm looking for is fostering human connections. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. The next person I want to call is Sudha. Sudha, please feel free to unmute yourself. I would like to mention actually Sudha is a Landed for Success member and she is such a great support for Landed for Success.
Hi, it's actually, thank you so much. My name is Sudha. I'm a realtor here in Toronto, but I do want to mention today about how it's been an amazing, wonderful experience with Landed for Success. I am actually a member with them and an author, with volume 2, 3, and hopefully 4 and onwards. And being part of Landed for Success has been completely amazing. Fundamentally, I've been growing, connecting, networking, and meeting a lot of wonderful people. And today's session, this business summit has been really, I've been learning a lot, whether it was about WhatsApp and the information that Tasri was speaking, and Dr. Brenda, so much of information. Hopefully we can have another session like this. Thank you so much. And I would like to say special thanks to Gordon Jay, Shilpi, Terrence, and the entire team of Landed for Success. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudha. So moving on to the next person, we have, just a moment, because my chat is on, so I was just seeing the chat. I see a person has raised his hand. Venkatesh, if you're there, please unmute yourself and feel free to share. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is Venkatesh from Vara Level Business, Coimbatore, India. And thank you for giving an opportunity, Dr. Jay, Dr. Shilpi, Zami, and Ashok sir. It's nice to be here, and we have learned many things, and nice information has been shared by all the members. And I thank you for this opportunity here. And I have learned many things from Landed of Success. And I am from India. I am doing I was in the media industry, presently doing into service. I am into printing, and related to media, I do service actually. So if anything related to media and anything related to that, you can just contact me. My number is 9943-63462. And thank you very much, Dr. J, Dr. Shilpi, and Landed for Success for giving me a nice opportunity to speak on behalf of my service. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Venkatesh. The next person on my screen is Dr. S. Suganya. If you're there, please unmute yourself and share with us. Okay, I guess she's not. She or he, I'm sorry, I don't know. Are you there? Yeah, please share with us.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Suganya. And first of all, I would like to thank all these speakers for a wonderful session. It was very useful. Thank you all. And again, I have my master's degree and a doctorate degree, and I'm a microbiologist. And I'm actually giving a motivational talk. I give a lot of motivational talk for students and professionals. So I'm looking for more opportunities. So thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. S. Suganya. The next person I see on screen is Grace. Grace, please feel free to unmute yourself and share with us.
Thank you. This has been a wonderful learning experience for us all. And thank you so much for all the Landed for Success leaders who have made this available to us all. Now, what I have is I am associated with a large company that brings health and wellness to us, to 40 different countries. And if you are in my country of Canada or Shilpi's country of the USA, it would be easy, so easy to acquire my product. Just go to my website. But for those in India, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Cambodia, Iran, and Singapore, it's not yet available in your country. So if you know someone who's looking for a big opportunity, someone who could be both an investor and someone who will actually work it, I can lead you, and not only just myself, but I have leaders, medical leaders, who will help you as well bring this to your country. But it must be someone who can invest the money and the time to bring our products to their countries. And so I don't know if you want me to show you how our products are, how they are at the moment. What they are is in little packs like this, so they're easily shipped. And all you do is open the pack. I use scissors to open the pack and put it in a mug, and then add boiling water. And it creates a product that tastes like coffee. And this one creates a product that tastes like tea. There's tea bag. But what it has is the reishi mushroom from the Far East. And this was exclusively only for the kings of the area for the emperors of China. And now it's available to us in 40 different countries, and we would like to make it available to those in India, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Iran as well. But we need to have a connection there. So that's how you can help bring this wonderful product to your country.
Thank you, Grace. Terence,
yes, sir.
Please carry on. I would like you to carry on. Yeah.
Well, is there anybody else that has not spoken?
I think there are few. I saw Dr. Sivam just switched on his camera. If he's here, he can share a few words.
What I would like is that if we can jump back and forth a little bit, back to Jay and back to Gordon, and just have a little more touch on the whole platform as to how we are helping assist and affiliate with people, because people, you know, have taken the time to come on, and so have we. So we want to know, how do they go further with us? And anybody can take over, either Gordon or Jay, and spend a few minutes. Then we go back to the guests and ask them, you know, what they do and where they are, because this is a platform that is not known by many. And those who have found us, like Rahul, he was looking at, I believe, at Landed for Success through LinkedIn, and he's found us. So like that, we need them to move on. Go ahead, Gordon.
Oh, before that, let me.
Oh, sorry, Jay.
I wanted to take a minute to again thank Terence. Like, isn't he wonderful? Along with again Shilpi, thank you so much. Let's give, because I wanted to do a mention, because this event was completely was the brainchild of Shilpi, and then Shilpi brought in Terence. They did the entire thing on behalf of Landed for Success. So Shilpi, thank you so much, and Terence is thank you so much. And our esteemed speakers like you, who's been here, Dr. Brenda, Ashok, of course, Gordon and me, we are part of the team. So I wanted to say a thank you, because I know some people are off camera. They may or they may not do networking, but I wanted to formally, before I close the recording, and then we move into the informal part of the evening, where you can the day, I should say, you can stay and network the meeting after the meeting, or you can leave. It's totally up to you. But before I do that, and again, on closing up the thank you note, I wanted to give the opportunity for Terence and Shilpi to introduce themselves, because they are business professionals themselves. Take not only a minute, take your time to introduce yourself, and then we will close the formal part of the. It is truly an international summit. Like Grace took notes. I just noticed, like, we have people from Cambodia, Malaysia, India, Sri Lanka, US. It doesn't happen, and you all showed up, and it's for us. It's a thank you to everyone who showed up. And like I said, the people in this room, Gordon always tells, you never know who you are in the room with. So the wealth of knowledge and the people from around the world literally can change your world. And that's what happened to me. With that, again, thank you on behalf of Landed for Success. I'll invite Gordon. You can let us know about a little bit Landed for Success, and then Shilpi and Terence, it's all yours.
Thank you. Gordon?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jay. You know, if you guys, I mean, today, think about today for a minute. How many of you got some inspiration or motivation today, right? What I love about today is, you know, Tony Robbins always says, if your why is big enough, then the how doesn't matter, right? So earlier, somebody asked you, I think it was Terence, what's the, I'm paraphrasing, but what's the key to success? And I think he said something like, hold on, let me just take my notes, right? I think he said something about, no, those are my notes for my babysitting for my granddaughter next time. So I got to get on the right page. What did Q say? He said, having a strong will, right? Having a strong will and focus. And Napoleon Hill talks about that, right? Having a definite major purpose. So this group here, I believe that's, you know, one of our definite major purpose here at Landed for Success is simply providing an opportunity for us to meet. And that's what we're doing today, right? So many of us want success. In order for us to have success, one of the keys to success is who are we, associating ourselves with. Does that make sense?
Correct.
Does that make sense? Somebody here earlier said Cambodia and hotels. Whoever said that, do me a huge favor, send me some information, because I have folks that are interested in hotels. And the two individuals I'm thinking of are individuals, one of them is a friend of mine in Singapore, and they do white collar boxing. You guys familiar with that? White collar boxing? And I remember when he went to school here, he was a broke student, right? If you guys have friends from Malaysia who have gone to school here in Canada, I remember he was a broke student and he went to York University, he graduated, he went home and he couldn't find a job. He just literally could not find a job. He was so broke. And then a friend of his introduced him to a bank. So see the power of association. So who do you know who's in your circle of influence? And so he had a friend who introduced him to a bank and he became the CTO for the biggest bank in Singapore. Is that amazing? But going back to what Q said, that was not his definite major purpose. He wanted to be an entrepreneur. And we got so many entrepreneurs on here, business owners. So he started a financial services company, 10 people, 10 of them, about 20 some odd years ago. And out of those 10, only 2 of them are still around. Think about that for a minute. So we may have folks in our circle of influence right now that we think are the folks that's going to help us to get our business next level. That may be true. Think about my friend for a minute. 10 of them started this business together 20 some odd years ago. Today, there's only 2 of them. But their company today, one of the wealthiest men in Hong Kong just bought 49% of their company. I'm sharing this story with you not to brag, but just to show you what happens when someone has such a strong will and a desire to succeed. And the thing that they were doing with like white collar boxing, the last time I checked, it was probably in 2018. They had already donated something like $4 or $5 million US to a children's clinic in Cambodia, right? And now they're looking at international real estate as well. So there's no promises here, but that's what I love about this network. When you show up, you have an opportunity. Like Jay said, you just never know who you're going to meet. Like Joe is right here in the chat. She says, hey, I'm publishing my 2nd book. And earlier, she said, who was the man that was wearing the yellow shirt, right? Who does printing? Wouldn't it be amazing? Like literally just today, we're able to connect 2 individuals who didn't know each other. And it's not just a global opportunity. Q, I keep on picking on Q today, but Q said, we're global neighbors.
Correct.
Isn't that amazing? It's no longer like, wow, like it's on the other side. We're global neighbors. We can get together like this in an instant. Okay, so that's just one part of Land for Success. Somebody here says they want to be they're a motivational speaker. Can we help you open doors to become a motivational speaker? Absolutely. I shared with you earlier individuals who are authors and coaches and speakers. All we can do is provide the contacts, the opportunities, and then it's up to you to step through that door and seize that opportunity. Does that make sense, everyone?
Absolutely.
And so as a member of Land for Success, there's also certain perks and benefits that comes with that. So I would recommend, if you're interested in becoming a member, set up a 15-minute discovery call with Shilpi or Terrence. Like, I know you're going to go to the website, right? That's the first thing. Somebody mentioned Google, and you're going to go to landforsuccess.com, and you're going to go to membership, and you're going to learn about it. But more important, I think, would you agree, if you could have a 15-minute consultation with Shilpi and Terrence, you'll probably understand better and most likely become a member. Like, I just texted Ashok today. I've heard about WhatsApp from Jay over and over again. So I texted Ashok today, and Jay said, when can I book an appointment with Ashok? Because he's the expert, because I want to learn how to automate my business and make money in my sleep. How many people would like to make money in your sleep?
Yeah.
Right? We're going to change Ashok's name to Make Money in Your Sleep Guru, Ashok. So anyways, I know I'm rambling a little bit here. That's what I believe Land for Success is. And if you want to become an author, like Sutha, she's going to be like an author in some volume 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. If you want to be an author, we welcome you to be an author. But even if you're not an author, we want to know your story, right? So you can share it on our blogs. You can share it on our social media platforms. You can share it here. And I think one of the things that we are probably going to most move towards is on a Saturday like this, it'll be more training focused. Does that make sense? More training focus. And then when we're done, we'll have an opportunity like this to network. But we have specific days, like the last Thursday of every month, where we actually do networking, where you can deliver your 30-second or 60-second elevator pitch. In fact, the last Thursday of this month will be our 29th consecutive virtual speed networking event. Ashok, how many do we have to do to break the world, break a world record here? I don't know, right? But now we have a daytime Tuesday, first Tuesday of every month, led by 2 amazing mompreneurs. Okay, so maybe we need a speed networking event for Landed for Success Asia with a time that works for everybody in Malaysia, Singapore, and does that make sense? And Sri Lanka. And then we save a day like today, but we can actually feature you, right? Ashok is an amazing, brings a lot of value. You guys agree with that? And all our speakers, but some of you probably have a lot of value to bring as well. So we can take Saturdays like this, where we can bring all the talent together, other members together, and we can really do a lot of training. So going back to what Tony Robbins says, right? If your why is big enough, the how doesn't matter. Everyone's thinking, let me know how. I want to take courses. I want to spend money. I want to spend thousands. There's people who spend tens of thousands of dollars to learn. They want to learn the how to. Most of us already know the how to. We just need someone to kick us, we need a kick in the pants to get going. Does that make sense? Every now and then our mindset, we're down in the dumps, we're feeling sorry for ourselves, right? Things aren't going well. Interest rates are skyrocketing. The economy is terrible. We blame our neighbors. We blame the banks. We blame the government. We blame everybody else. So I'll just finish this thought. Jim Rohn says, if it's going to be, it's up to me. You guys agree with that? So we got to take responsibility for our own failures. We got to take a responsibility for our own success. That's what I love about this group. And then we can be accountable to each other, right? Accountability is so important. So we may not relate to every single member in this group, but there may be 1 or 2 or 3 that you can form a mastermind or master alliance with, that you can meet once a week, where you're accountable to each other's goals and successes and hopes and dreams until you actually turn them into reality. And final thought would be, if you enjoyed the summit, we have a live in-person summit in Toronto, Canada, that Jay mentioned, and that's going to be Saturday, September 17th. It's going to be a live event. We already have speakers flying in from California, from all around the world. So if that's something that you're able to participate in, we welcome you to come and join us for our Landed for Success Business Expo. Jay, I think it's Saturday, September 17th. It's going to be an entire day of learning, networking, fun, an opportunity for you to grow your business locally and on an international basis as well. So thank you so much for your time, you guys. And look, again, reach out, have a conversation on a discovery call. And if you need to reach out to Jay, myself, or discovery call, we're happy to do that as well. All right. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to be here.
Thanks, Gordon. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much for actually with all the talk and everything. I think we are coming to a close. And thank you, Gordon, for sharing the insight about Landed for Success. I think with all the tools and all that we have, all the speakers have shared, the one idea that we wanted to actually communicate is that what are the tools that you could use for your business growth, and what are the ways you can reach out to people. Here you could you got an opportunity for networking and connect with people. Download the chat, don't miss out on the chat that you have. The details are here. I know Jay has said about introduction. Terence, please take a moment and introduce yourself. And I see Urmila has raised her hand from long, but Urmila, please give us a moment and we will come back to you. Terence, please introduce yourself and share about what you do and a little bit about yourself. Thank you.
Absolutely, long awaited. Wow, here we go. My name is Terence Washington and I'm from Toronto, Canada. Yes, like I said, I do have the opportunity of being the CEO for 3 companies, and I've got joint ventures with 4 others. I am a transformational speaker, coach. I host big galas and big events. I do also sing and perform, and also a bestseller on volume 2 of Land for Success. But my main objective for talking at this point in time, and Jay will be very enthusiastic to hear me, is that I created during the pandemic a platform that I realized that the world needs. Why? Because nobody's going to have money. People are going to be running out of money. So I did a program that I put together for 2 years alongside with Mr. Gordon J. Chauhan, Mr. Diwakar Prasad, and Sonia Versami. And I started this and they assisted me in the back end. And I managed to create a program called World Trade Systems, Inc., which originally is a barter affiliate program. But what I've done is I've restructured it, and it will be launching, I believe, in a week, where people can come in and join the platform as a community and create a legacy without putting an outlay of too much money. Because what happens is when you put money out and you get stuff in, you're not appreciative, you don't feel good about it. With my community-based business, it's going to help people to receive products on a barter system, but also accommodate themselves in a tangible commodity. And that's very, very important, because if people don't understand what I'm saying, it's simple. If Gordon sells a product, and if Shilpi sells a service, they can inter-exchange it. And they can work on it on a very, very low percentage, where they have the benefits of the professional services and the tangible commodities. So that's what I'm doing, and I've worked on it for about almost 2 years. It's almost in completion. It should be ready by next week for sure, because I had to modify it 3 times. And that I'll be bringing out to everybody and letting you enjoy another platform along with Land for Success. I'm not excluding myself. I'm joining myself with Land for Success. Again, thanks a lot. Shilpi?
Thank you, Terence. Thank you so much. And if any one of you who have not got a chance to speak, share your views, please raise your hand. This is the time. We'll have just a couple of minutes before we close. So if you're one person that you wanted to talk, but you did not get an opportunity, or there were some errors, or there were some problems, some issues, please raise your hand using the reactions down there. Just raise your hand and we will know that you are interested to talk. The next person, thank you for doing so. I have to call Urmila because she has been there raising her hand since long. Urmila, please unmute yourself and share what you wanted